Good evening, I'm Patricia Vallone with a CTV News update. A rally and protest was held in front of the Prince George's Courthouse today. Members of the Archie Elliott III Coalition for Justice gathered to draw attention to what they call racist policing in Prince George's. Protesters also spoke about the recently settled discrimination suit brought by a group of Black and Hispanic officers against the county.
So to bring it to an end, this is what we're campaigning for. The legislature, the Maryland legislature, to as Gus said, established by legislation, community control of the police, with the community having the authority, the unfettered authority to fire corrupt and incompetent police officers.
Organizers also called on Marylanders to take part in the March for Voting Rights, which is set for August 28th in D.C. and cities across the country. A man who was left paralyzed following a traffic stop by Prince George's police in 2019 has died. DeMonte Ward Blake, who was shot in an unrelated incident and seriously wounded in November of 2020, died on August 1st. It was October 2019 when Ward Blake was stopped by Prince George's police for a suspected traffic violation. During that encounter, an officer allegedly slammed Ward Blake, who was handcuffed, to the ground, leaving him paralyzed from the chest down. The cause of death was not determined. An autopsy is being conducted. As new COVID-19 cases rise across the metro region, Prince George's County has reimposed its indoor mask mandate. It requires that you wear a mask inside all public venues and businesses. The requirement went into effect on Sunday. CTV spoke with shoppers about the new county mandate.
We did think we were over it, but we see that we're not. It's not that big of a deal for me to wear a mask, even though I'm already fully vaccinated. I will share that. But you just put on a mask because I would rather be safe than sorry.
I never took mine off, period. So I mean, you hear all sort of different information from the CDC, so I keep mine on.
As soon as people find a break to take things off, you take a break at the wrong time, is what I think. And until the uncertainty is gone, I don't think we should have lifted up from it.
Montgomery County reinstated a similar order over the weekend. Meantime, in Baltimore City, officials also instituted an indoor mask mandate effective today. Well, here are the latest COVID-19 numbers for our area. The state health department has confirmed 586 new cases since yesterday. 126 of those are in Prince George's. The statewide positivity rate stands at 4.16%. 15 people have died from the coronavirus since Saturday. 400 people remain hospitalized in Maryland due to COVID. And you are watching CTV News. I'm Patricia Vallone. We'll be back in just a moment.
COVID-19 is a severe lung infection. Trust the American Lung Association for science-based public health information, especially for the 36 million Americans who live with lung disease. We have launched the COVID-19 Action Initiative to end COVID-19 and address future respiratory virus pandemics. Access our free lung health resources and see how you can support our initiative.
Welcome back. Well, Greenbelt's mayor is speaking out against the national $1 trillion infrastructure bill. The legislation would allocate money for roads, bridges, public transit, and broadband access. However, Colin Bird says that the legislation needs a massive makeover. He says it underfunds electric vehicle charging stations and internet access. Now, Bird wants to see more money for child care and health care.
The reality is this. If we rebuild our roads and we rebuild our bridges, but we still have families falling apart because of lack of health care, especially as part of this pandemic, we still have families falling apart because they don't have the type of access to higher education that we need in this country. When we have families falling apart because they can't afford childcare, right? That undoes the infrastructure that we know and love in this country.
Burt also says the bill would provide grant funding for the maglev train project, which he opposes. The Biden administration announces another extension for the pause on federal student loan repayments as the Delta variant of the coronavirus surges across the nation. The new deadline is January 31st of 2022. It was previously September 30th of this year. Democrats are welcoming the pause, but criticizing the administration for not providing more relief by canceling student debt. Biden has instead proposed free community college and government forgiveness programs. The Federal Reserve estimates that the total student loan debt in the U.S. at more than $1.7 trillion. Poder Latinx relaunches its virtual health campaign with a month of activities dedicated to increasing awareness about the COVID-19 vaccination and other health issues. The campaign also advocates for patients and healthcare workers to participate in the political process so they have a say in decisions that impact their lives and the community at large.
So El Poder de Tu Salud does have, each week is focused on something that impacts our community, like diabetes, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, lupus. So just making sure that our community knows how these issues, underlying issues, actually will impact as well COVID. So we're tying it together with COVID, making sure that our community does get vaccinated. We have 5 different doctors that have partnered with us. One doctor is an internal medicine geriatric specialist. One is a pediatrician. The other one is a rheumatologist. So she specializes in the autoimmune diseases. We have a emergency room doctor, ER specialist. And we also have an internal medicine doctor.
For more information on the health campaign, log on to poderlatinx.org. A reminder for WSSC customers, the utility is resuming service cutoffs for delinquent accounts. Now, WSSC is expected to begin water service cutoffs for residential customers on September 13th. Commercial and government customers that were behind on their payments were cut off earlier this month. Anyone with overdue bills should contact WSSC Water at 301-206-4001 for assistance. A local organization that helps people impacted by crime is giving back. Community Advocates for Family and Youth, better known as CAFE, is giving away school supplies on August 14th at Roger Heights Elementary. Items include totes, notebooks, pens, stuffed animals, and masks. Organizer Arlene Joel says that they're looking for a helping hand from the public.
One of the things we found out was that many of the families that we serve weren't eligible for the stimulus check, didn't get unemployment, and so they needed all of those items actually for their families to survive.
And you can drop off donations at 1300 Caraway Court, Suite 205. Again, the distribution will take place at Roger Heights Elementary on August 14th, starting at 9 a.m. Gubernatorial candidate Peter Franchot announces a plan aimed at courting black voters. It's called A Level Playing Field, a concrete plan for economic, social, and political equity for black Marylanders. It deals with cannabis legislation, housing justice, and a new cabinet-level position for diversity, equity, and inclusion. The comptroller says his plan, among other things, will ensure that the legalization of marijuana will contribute to the economic growth of communities that have disproportionately bore the brunt of cannabis-related offenses. Franchot has also committed to naming a black woman as his running mate. An announcement is expected in the coming weeks. Still to come, the Washington football team gets ready for its first preseason game. We'll have all the details coming up.
COVID-19 has changed how we express our faith and gather to worship. We all want to get back to how we pray, how we congregate, how we lift our voices in praise. Now it's time to take the first step that lets us get back to spreading the word without spreading concern. Before we can safely come together, we need the facts. As COVID-19 vaccines become available, you may have questions.
Should I get it?
Is it safe?
Should I wait?
It's okay to have questions. Now get the facts. Learn more at getvaccineanswers.org so you can make an informed decision when vaccinated.
Thanks for staying with us. Well, residents have had limited choices for recreation during the pandemic. That's why state parks became a welcome reprieve from self-quarantine and abandoned travel plans. Now a new legislative commission will study the increasing demands on Maryland state parks starting next month. The commission will make recommendations on the need for new parks in recreational deserts and whether existing ones are accessible to certain populations, including those without cars or who are low income. Huge crowds caused 14 of the state's 75 parks to reach their peak capacity, forcing their closure 292 times in 2020 and 155 times so far in 2021. In sports news, 3 days and counting for the Washington football team. The team will play its first preseason game this coming Thursday. It'll be against the New England Patriots. Head coach Ron Rivera says the preseason will provide a lot of opportunities for new players.
We're going to play our guys on Thursday. I'll tell you that right now. I mean, it's a great opportunity. It's against a very good football team, well coached. So I'm excited about that potential. I think that, having the 3 games and then having a 2-week prep period for the first game, it's going to behoove us to play the guys a little bit more.
10 days or so into camp, how's it going?
It's been amazing, getting together with these guys every day, working hard, just coming out and, having one goal together, going through these, couple days of camp, it's been amazing. I can't ask for nothing else.
What else are you trying to show out there that you can do besides just the speed?
Right, so for me, it's more than just deep routes. I ran a whole lot of deep routes in college, and it's on the film. So now it's just, okay, now I have to make that short route a deep route as well, take a slant for 80 yards, or, a curl and take it for 60, however long it has to be, but, make all routes the same.
Again, Washington will kick off the preseason on Thursday. In college football, the Maryland Terps are gearing up for the 2021 season. Head coach Mike Locksley says while the team continues to follow COVID procedures, there are less restrictions this year. Locksley calls the 2021 season a no-excuse year.
COVID is what it is. We'll continue to follow the protocols that state, local, and campus officials ask us to follow as we navigate it. But as far as the football piece and the discipline piece and developing our program, it's time for the excuses to end, and we're not going to allow our players, anybody that's part of our football family, to make any excuse. I mean, we talk a lot about potential around here. I've had the luxury of being here for, I think this is my 14th season, and you always hear the potential word. I've been here when we won 3 straight years of 10 or more wins and won the ACC championship back in those days. I've also been here for some of the lean years. So the potential word for me is something that we're over as a program, and looking forward to really going out and establishing ourselves as a program that has the ability to do great things.
We can be as great as any room, in the country, just as we put the playmakers that we need to put in the positions for them to do successful things, and it will happen. A lot of guys can create mismatches across the field with that depth and size that we have inside and outside, so it looks great this year.
And the Terps kick off the season against West Virginia on September 4th. Well, now let's get a quick check on our 3-day weather forecast. Tonight, partly cloudy, lows around 74. Tuesday, mostly sunny with a high near 93. Wednesday, mostly sunny again, a chance of thunderstorms, and the daytime temp high near 95. And Thursday, mostly sunny, highs near 94. Now for your community calendar, the nonprofit Prince George's County is hosting a financial management and budgeting luncheon. Learn about the steps in planning and budgeting a project, managing costs, and much more. The virtual event is Wednesday, August 11th from noon until 2 p.m. Member and other participants must register online. Space is limited. For more information, email info@nonprofitpgc.org. And that wraps up our newscast. Thanks for watching. Be sure to tune in tomorrow evening. Have a great night.